Hello and good morning for some, good afternoon for others, and good evening for the rest of you. This is Phantom, and we are back with Chapter 16 of For the Ones We Love, written by Flim, Brothers. And featuring Brad the Browncoat Brony. Link will be in the description, as per usual. It's been about 2 weeks since I've done this. I have excuses, but no legitimate answers. Excuses being recently getting back into Pokemon Leaf Green, and work. So, back to the story. Let's get into it. This is Chapter 16, The Homecoming. It's not about the pain or the suffering of the ponies. It's about sending them a message. A quote by Dawnfade.
Sister, are you in here?
Luna asked as she pushed the doors open to the Sun Goddess's room. Yes, I am. Celestia was sitting on her sofa as she read her book, placing it down as she got up. I'm actually glad you're here. I was going to get someone to call you. She walked over to her sister. We need to talk. The Night Mare sighed.
It's about conquest, isn't it?
The Sun Mare nodded as Luna sighed again.
I know that. It's why I'm here. I want you to know that I will do whatever is necessary to stop him. I will—
Luna, said Celestia, cutting her younger sibling off. I know what you're feeling. I know that you love him, and I will not have you do something that you do not wish to do. Besides, that is not what I want to talk to you about.
Then what is it that you wanted to talk about?
I wanted to tell you that it's okay. She put a hoof on the dark mare's shoulder. The way I acted a few days ago, how I yelled at you, it was uncalled for. I know the power of love now, Luna, and it can make fools of us all. The Blue Princess grabbed her sister in a hug.
I'm such a screw-up, aren't I?
Don't talk like that, Luna. You're not a screw-up. You had no idea how powerful he is. Neither of us did. And if anything, I screwed up.
Let's just say we both screwed up.
Luna smiled, lifting the chin of her sister. Celestia let a little giggle slip as a tear rolled down her face. How did I get blessed with such a forgiving sister? The two shared the moment, all the past anger leaving. They would need to banish this hatred if they were ever going to stand a chance of defeating their brother.
Do you think we can stop him?
Luna asked, not breaking the embrace. I hope so. I really do.
Do you think we can save him?
Save Curator? I don't know. I would again hope so. But he is so far gone, sister. The last time I saw him, he was a shadow of his former self. I fear that what's left of Curator is gone. All that remains is that monster.
Then we'll make him pay.
The Night Mare silently sobbed.
I'll make him pay for killing my brother and my love.
Now, sister, remember, we cannot let our need for vengeance overpower our thoughts. That's how we got in this predicament.
I guess you're right.
Baroom!
What was that, Celestia?
Her sister let go of her and walked outside to the balcony. They're here. Celestia smiled.
Who, Conquest? But he's not supposed to get here for another 2 days.
It's not him. It's our reinforcements. Luna curiously walked up to the balcony next to her sister and gazed in awe at the massive sea of soldiers making their way to the castle. The first platoon was composed of zebras. The exotic black and white warriors were clad in strange-looking armor, similar to Canterlot guard armor, but were silver and highly decorated with feathers, bones, and war paint. Each of the zebras was armed with barbed spears and intimidating-looking shields, which were designed to look like faces. Following closely behind them were the mules and donkeys. Each of the rugged-looking creatures wore a camouflage helmet and were pulling carts of what looked like strange machinery. Bringing up the rear was a herd of buffaloes. The biggest of the three, the bison were already clad in their war paint and feathers. The sound of their hooves could be heard from miles away. So they're all here. I hope it is enough.
It must be.
Luna watched the oncoming army settle into the courtyard, the guard ponies making room for the new soldiers.
For all of our sakes, they must.
Her sister nodded in agreement as they took flight. The two alicorns floated down and landed in the middle of the courtyard to greet the new coming armies. As if on cue, a zebra, a mule, and a large buffalo broke from their respective groups and walked to the princesses.
General Zukhuf, we are so glad that you were able to send forces in our time of need. We are forever in your debt.
Please, princess. When you sent word of this threat, we assembled our tribes together. He looked back to the large mass of zebras. The 26 tribes of the zebras have banded together since the Dragon Wars.
And we were honored to have your help then, as we do now. And Major Cactus Water, we trust the trip from Ulyssia wasn't too taxing. It seems that you had to drag a lot of cargo with you.
Not in the slightest, smiled Cactus Water. What we brought with us isn't just cargo, but innovation.
Innovation?
The mule nodded. Indeed, innovation, technology, industry. What we have here could very well change the face of Equestria, possibly even the whole world as we know it.
Really? What does it do?
Can't tell you that yet, princess. He smiled nervously. It's not quite finished yet. But don't worry, we'll have it operational the day after tomorrow.
Good. We will most definitely need it.
Celestia turned to the buffalo.
And Chief Thunderhooves, it is so good to see you again.
It is. Do you mind if my herd sets up in the fields outside of the city? I know my buffalo would prefer the space.
Of course,
nodded the White Princess.
Wherever you feel most comfortable. And that goes to all of you. Make yourselves at home.
The three generals nodded as they went back to their own tribes to set up camp.
I hope that we can do this,
muttered Luna as she and her sister started to walk away.
I hate that we had to drag everyone into this.
What choice did we have? Spike was right. We need to band together. Conquest has been doing the same.
I wonder how he got so many followers,
wondered the nightmare.
He may be crazy, but Curator has always had a way with words, and the fact he can control minds doesn't help. I understand that the changelings were on board, but I fear that Conquest may have done something to the Griffins and the Minotaurs.
But what?
It is not important. All that matters is that we can survive the next few days, and then we can help them.
5 Astraces with a scene break.
So, this is Equestria, huh?
commented Dust Devil as the group of dragons flew to the shores of the mainland.
It's a lot greener than I'd imagined it.
I'll admit that it's different than the Badlands, but it's not so bad.
All these colors are giving me a headache. Why does everything have to be so green and pink and yellow?
You'll get used to it. Besides, you're not the one who has to be carried all the way there. Having no wings, Lurch was forced to carry the brown drake, much to his disapproval. Seriously, can't we land for a bit? We've been flying for hours.
I agree. You're not exactly fun to carry.
Hey, if I could fly, I would. And having to smell you all this time is no picnic.
This coming from the dragon that wallows around in the mud all day.
Hey, it's in my nature to burrow and dig, just like it's in yours to eat everything in sight. Lurch snarled as he dropped the dragon. For a brief moment, Bitterbite gave a very unmasculine scream as he fell forward towards the ground, but Dust Devil quickly snatched him up before he could fall very far.
What the hell was that about?
Oh, I'm sorry,
smiled the Boulder Dragon.
But dropping you is in my nature.
I could have died. Will both of you shut up? You're going to give me a migraine.
Tell me about it.
Dust Devil looked to Spike.
How much longer?
Spike looked back to the Sky Drake and smiled. Yeah, we're here. Do you see that castle up ahead?
Yeah.
That's Canterlot Castle. He pointed to the castle on the side of the mountain. Capital of the ponies. Now before we get there, I think I should explain a few things.
We're listening.
Well, the first thing you should be aware of is that ponies don't see dragons all too often, so don't be offended if you receive a less than warm welcome. Lurch snickered.
As long as they don't try to eat us, I think we'll be okay.
That's the other thing. For the love of the goddess, don't eat any pony. In fact, don't eat any meat whatsoever.
What? What are we supposed to eat?
Trust me, we'll find something for you to eat. Anything else we need to know? Yeah, just try to remain calm and enjoy yourselves. Spike smiled as they got close to the castle.
Hey, if there's one thing I'm good at,
Dust Devil grinned.
it's calm.
They finally reached the outer walls of Canterlot Castle. The ponies had reacted a lot better than he had expected, whether it was because they were with him or because of some other reason. The guards didn't attack, and they all were able to land in the courtyard safely. Well, so far so good, Spike thought. No big fumbles yet. The ponies are staying calm, and the dragons aren't feeling provoked. Maybe I'm worrying too much. Spike and the other dragons entered the halls, where they saw 6 familiar mares walking in the throne room. Well, if it isn't my 6 lovely ladies, laughed Spike, alerting the mares to his presence. Of course, Rarity was the first to react. Spike! She cried lovingly as she ran towards the purple drake. Spike smiled as his love ran towards him. Time seemed to slow down as she approached, capturing every fraction of the magical moment as the white mare jumped into his arms and locking him in a passionate kiss. The force of the kiss caused Spike to fall to the ground as they continued to make out in their loving embrace. The unicorn finally parted. Don't think that this gets you off the hook. She smiled. I'm still quite peeved about you leaving again, and you're going to have to really make it up to me this time. Is that a challenge? Grinned the drake, sliding his claw down her back and rounding her flank. Ahem. Not to ruin this golden moment, but it's not like there's anyone else here. Oh my! Rarity hadn't even noticed the other dragons until now. You actually did it! You got the dragons to help us! Well, kind of. Spike shrugged. It's really complicated. It's not really important, although I believe introductions are in order. This is Bitterbite, Glimmer, Lurch, and Dust Devil.
Those are weird names. Oh, and what's yours, pony? Rainbow Dash, the fastest flyer in all Equestria. Doubt it. What do you mean by that? All I'm saying is that a pony can't be faster than a dragon. Hey, I've beaten Spike in plenty of races. I'm the fastest thing in the sky. But you never raced a Scarin before. Face it, pony, you're aerodynamically flawed. I'll make you eat those words. Why don't you put your money where your mouth is? Bring it, Grass Muncher, smiled Dust. Anytime, anywhere. Right now, 30 laps around Canterlot Mountain. Loser admits to the other one that they're the fastest flyer.
The rainbow pony spread her wings and took off, crashing through one of the stained glass windows.
Hey, you cheated!
Dust Devil followed her through the hole in the window. Okay. Spike wondered, turning to the remaining 3 dragons. That was Rainbow Dash. She can be a bit of a hothead sometimes. Didn't notice. Glimmer smiled. I like her. She seems cooler for a pony. Anyways, this is my mare friend, Rarity. Hello, it's so nice to make your acquaintance. She raised her hoof up to shake. And the yellow and pink one is Fluttershy. Hey there! Bellowed Lurch, extending a massive claw to the terrified Pegasus. Don't eat me! She yelled, disappearing in a flash of dust and yellow feathers. There goes Fluttershy, faster than a rabbit on bath day. Don't take it too personally. She's mighty shy, especially around unfamiliar folks. Oh, I'm Applejack, by the way. And I'm Pinkie Pie, said the energetic pink pony, bouncing up and down with excitement. Wow, I've never seen a dragon before. Well, that's actually not true. I saw the Great Dragon Migration, and I see Spike all the time, and this is the first time that I've seen another dragon that wasn't Spike up close. She likes talking, doesn't she? Whispered Glimmer to Bitterbite, who gave a snicker in response. And I'm Twilight. It's nice to meet you. Well, now that we have everyone introduced, Spike said, clapping his claws together. Would you like to see around the castle? I guess? Glimmer shrugged. What do ponies do, anyways? Well, we make cupcakes. Oh, have you ever had a cupcake before? Oh, what? Asked the foreign dragons. What? How have you never tried a cupcake before? She zipped behind the dragons and started to push them down the hall. Don't worry, I'm great at making them, and I'll even show you how to make some. Maybe afterwards, you could take them to the spa, chuckled Rarity, still in the embrace of her dragon. I'm sure they'll love that. Yeah, Pinkie smiled. You'll love that. We'll get you an oil massage and a hoofacure and mud bath and... Mud baths? They have those? Oh, yeah, and they're great. You have to try one. The Earth Dragon turned to his girlfriend. I think I like it here. He grinned as he, Lurch, and Glimmer followed Pinkie and Applejack out of the hall, leaving Twilight alone with Rarity and Spike.
I hope you don't mind, dear,
said Rarity as she shuffled her hoofs together.
but I would like some alone time with Spike, if that's okay.
The purple unicorn smiled.
Of course it is. You two lovebirds have a lot of catching up to do. And speaking of catching up, I have some studying to do.
She walked out the opposite end of the hall. Rarity quickly turned to her dragon, brushing a hoof through his green spikes.
So, where were we?
You were mad at me, grinned the drake, flashing his white teeth.
That's right.
She gave him a playful nudge.
How on earth are you going to apologize this time?
He hoisted up the mare, her back hooves wrapping around his ribs and her front hooves around his long neck. Spike gave her a kiss as he carried her to the door. Don't worry, he said in between pecks. I'll think of something. 5 more astraces with a scene break. They were neck and neck, neither of them willing to back down as Dust Devil and Rainbow Dash sped through the final few laps around Canterlot Mountain.
You're going down, pony,
taunted Dust as he started pulling ahead of the Cyan pony.
I'll admit, you're a lot faster than I thought, but this race is mine. We'll see about that,
barked Rainbow back.
I haven't even started trying yet.
They finished their second lap, with only 1 lap remaining. Dust Devil was in the lead, and it looked like he was going to win, though he was almost impressed with the Pegasus' speed and determination. Almost.
It's over, pony,
Just yelled as he continued to slowly push ahead more as they made it halfway around the mountain.
Yeah, it is.
The rainbow-haired pony smiled as she made her move. Her feathery blue wings flapped furiously as she started flying faster and faster. She could feel the air break at the tip of her nose as she started to gain on Dust Devil. The dragon looked bewildered as the Pegasus started to inch ahead of him.
Time to kick it up a notch. You can't beat me, pony,
the black drake sneered, flapping as hard as he possibly could.
There's no way I'm losing to a
Boom! There was a colorful shockwave as Rainbow Dash hit the sonic rainboom. The Pegasus went skyrocketing ahead of the dragon, leaving a rainbow trail behind her. The dragon was caught in the multicolored explosion and was blown out of the air. Dust Devil went hurtling down towards the castle, screaming as he crashed through one of the windows, bouncing out the floor and slamming into the wall. The Skydrake slowly peeled off the wall, a large indent of his body in its place.
Ugh. What the hell was that? That was a sonic rainboom.
Dust Devil glanced up to see the Cyan mare was doing a victory dance over him.
Aw, yeah, so who's the fastest race in Equestria?
She asked, staring smugly down at the dragon.
You are. Damn straight, and don't you ever forget it.
5 astraces with another scene break.
And this is the kitchen,
announced Pinkie Pie as they entered the castle's massive kitchen.
This is where we make all sorts of delicious goodies and treats, like cakes and muffins and pies and sweethearts and scones and ice cream and cupcakes and donuts and Pop-Tarts and fritters and funnel cakes and churros and chocolate and caramel and candy and lollipops and all cakes and muffins and pies and sweethearts and scones and ice.
Pinkie, you're starting to repeat yourself.
Oops, sorry, I just get so excited when I talk about baking.
No kidding. So when do we start eating?
First, we have to mix the batter.
Pinkie pulled a large red mixing bowl from under the counter.
We're going to need some milk, flour, a few eggs, and lots of sugar.
Sugar? What's sugar?
That's funny. Every pony has tried sugar before, and it's so good.
We're not ponies. We've never heard of sugar before, much less tried it.
What? You're serious? Wow, then you must try some.
She ducked under the counter and pulled out a large white bag of sweet crystals.
Here, try some.
The 3 dragons stared at the white bag with curiosity. Slowly, Bitterbite bravely dipped his claw into the white powder, grabbing a pinch and sprinkling it into his mouth. His mouth puckered a bit from the overwhelming sweetness of the sugar. Not bad, but I think I'll stick to gems. The Cloudweaver stared at her boyfriend. Now I have to try this. She dug too deep in the bag and grabbed a handful of sugar and dumped it into her mouth. She immediately coughed it back up.
Too sweet. Too sweet.
Puffs of blue smoke emitted from her mouth.
It's too sweet.
Choo! A stream of blue mist flew out of her mouth as she flew backwards, landing on her back.
Are y'all okay?
asked the concerned cow pony.
I'll be fine. But no offense, this stuff is way too sweet for my liking.
Well, I guess that just leaves me,
sighed Lurch as he took a bit of the sugar in between his fingers, making sure not to take too much. He gulped as he stuck his fingers in his mouth, sucking the sugar off of it. So, Lurch, what do you think?
It's...
The pink drake tried to say. His eyes widened as his pupils expanded. Saliva started to drip down his mouth like a hungry dog as he eyed the bag of sugar.
It's delicious.
His tongue shot out of his mouth, wrapping around the bag and dragging it into his mouth with lightning speed, narrowly missing Pinky's hooves in the process. He pushed the pink mare aside as he dove headfirst into the cupboard that had the sugar in it. I guess he really likes it, muttered Glimmer over the sounds of Lurch's munching and slurping. Though that dragon will eat basically anything.
More,
Echoed Lurch as he pulled out of the cupboard, his face covered in white powder, and he had this crazy look in his eye.
More sugar! More sugar!
That was all the sugar in that cupboard, Sugar Cube.
More sugar!
Roared Lurch as all three of his tongues shot out of his mouth and went in different directions. One wrapped around the fridge, another around the oven, and the third one around the terrified Applejack. What in tarnation? She yelled as Lurch pulled all three objects into his mouth. The dragon's jaw disconnected as the oven was slowly devoured.
Some pony, get me out of this thing!
Pinky was frozen in fear, unable to move as Glimmer quickly slithered past the pony and dove her fist straight into Lurch's stomach. Ow! She groaned, rubbing her injured claw. The oven had already sunk into his stomach, making it hard as steel. Grab the tongue! Said Bitterbite, leaping onto the boulder dragon's expanded head and grabbing the tongue that bonded the earth pony. Sorry, buddy, he said as he bit the boulder dragon's tongue.
Ugh!
Groaned Lurch as he started to swallow the refrigerator. The pony panted for air as she slipped away from the dragon's tongue. What on earth has gotten into him? I think he likes sugar a bit too much. Let's get out of here. We just need to give him some time to get over it. And how do y'all know that'll work? Because he did it the first time he tried rubies.
More sugar!
Roared the pale blue dragon as he finished eating the fridge. The look in his eye showed that he was still delirious. His tongue shot out again, grabbing small appliances and food, pulling them into his mouth as he easily swallowed them. One of the stray tongues shot towards the cow pony again. Not this time, grunted the orange pony, ducking just in time and avoiding the sticky appendage. However, while her head was able to avoid the tongue, her hat was not so lucky. My hat! She screamed as she watched it get whisked away from atop her head and into the mouth of the dragon. Leave it! Screamed Bitterbite as he started to burrow through the floor, ripping apart the tiles and disappearing down the hole. It's everybody for themselves!
More sugar!
Moaned Lurch as he swallowed the hat and other various things in his mad search for more of the sweet powder. You crossed the line, buddy, hissed Applejack as she ran towards the frenzying dragon. No pony touches the bucking hat! She leapt up into the air and into the dragon's mouth, getting swallowed whole. AJ! Gasped Pinky, who was still frozen with fear as she watched her friend get eaten. Why? The large round dragon burped as all three of his tongues hung out of his mouth. His eyes started to return to normal as he started to stagger a bit. Suddenly, he started to gag as he clenched his stomach. He let out a loud moan as he jerked around the room. He fell to his knees as the bottom of his mouth started to expand, filling up with something.
Ooh, something ain't sitting right in the...
His jaw was pried open from the inside as a very slimy Applejack gasped for air. The cow pony threw her hat out of the mouth before she rolled out, panting over her near-death experience. I told you, she moaned, rolling on the ground to pick up and placing her hat on her head. No pony touches the hat. 5 asterisks with a scene break.
So are we doing another patrol again, Dragoon?
Bunsen asked. The clumsy purple Pegasus had been reassigned from Heartshield due to him being incapable of tolerating her, which she thought was weird because she thought she was a delight. But this new pony seemed nice enough, and for the past 3 days, the two worked very well together. Yepers! The peppy blue unicorn said as they walked down the hallways. We gotta go monitor the West Wing, and then we gotta make our way down to the throne room, and then back again. Easy day, really.
Great,
smiled Bunsen as the two started walking down the first hallway. The armory was finally able to make a suit of armor in her size, and she didn't trip over as much.
I haven't gone down this patrol since I partnered with Heartshield.
You never actually told me what happened to you two, said Dragoon as they started their walk. Do you mind if I ask?
He was very impatient.
She pushed her glasses back on her face.
Plus, there was that awkward moment.
Awkward moment? What awkward moment? Bunsen bit her lip as she looked away.
Nothing. Forget I said anything.
Then why did you mention it?
It just sort of slipped out, okay? Can we just drop it?
I guess. I was just trying to make conversation. The two of them walked down the hall. The tension between the two ponies was so thick you could stick a knife in it. There had to be a way to loosen the mood. But how?
So,
Bunsen finally said after what seemed like hours.
how does a pony get a name like Dragoon?
The blue pony smiled, happy to have something to talk about. Well, actually, I was named after my well, you get the idea, great-great-grandfather. His actual name was Thunderclap, but after the Great Dragon War, he got the nickname the Dragoon, and it sort of stuck.
What did he do to get a name like that?
Asked Bunsen, her own curiosity getting the better of her. Well, from what my mom used to tell me, Great Gramps was just a private, and he and his platoon were supposed to cut through the needle woods of the wasteland and flank one of their lava ponds. It was trapped, though, and they were attacked by twist claws, or tornado dragons.
That's terrible.
I know. Mom said that they were these big scaly things. Their top half was like a normal dragon body, but from the waist down they were all snake-like. No legs, just a giant slithering tail. Anyways, Gramps and the platoon fought back against them, and in the end, Gramps was victorious. But then Dragoon showed up.
Dragoon?
Dragoon, the elder of the tornado dragons. He wiped out the entire platoon, sucked them all up in a tornado he conjured, and flung them everywhere. But Gramps survived, and he stuck his spear right to the elder's heart.
Oh my!
And that's how Gramps got the name, and that's how I got mine. Interesting story, right?
Wouldn't it mean that you were named after the dead dragon, not your grandfather?
Well, but... The unicorn tried to say, but he stopped mid-sentence. I never really thought of it that way before.
Fresh perspective,
Giggled Bunsen as they approached the large doors of the throne room.
So we just need to check on the inside and then head back?
That's right. It's just a quick in and out. He opened the door and walked inside, Bunsen following behind him.
Oh, hello, my little ponies,
Princess Celestia said. She was sitting on her throne, levitating a small book.
On patrols, are we?
Princess Celestia!
Bunsen gasped, immediately bowing in the presence of the sun goddess.
How adorable. But there's no need to bow, Bunsen.
You know my name?
Of course.
The white alicorn smiled.
I know the names of every pony in Equestria.
Oh, of course,
she said, admittedly a little disappointed. We're just quickly checking in, make sure everything's okay in here.
Everything's fine, Dragoon.
The princess smiled.
Thank you for checking on me.
'Tis a pleasure,
said the violet Pegasus a little too loudly, then quickly covered her mouth from her outburst.
Sorry.
No need to apologize. Run along, you two.
You heard her, Bee. Let's go, said the blue unicorn as he turned to the door.
Actually, could I by chance steal Bunsen for a bit?
Of course, Princess,
gasped Bunsen, her cheeks turning a dark shade of red as she turned to Dragoon.
What did I do wrong?
The unicorn shrugged. Don't know. This is either really good, he walked out of the door, or really bad. The door shut behind him, leaving her alone with the princess.
So, what do you need me for?
The nervous mare asked as the princess walked up to her.
I'm just curious about one of my subjects,
the tall white mare said, lowering her head down to Bunsen's level.
Very curious.
Princess?
The sun goddess was getting closer to her. The sun mare placed a hoof gently on her cute little nose.
Please.
Celestia smiled, giving her half-closed bedroom eyes.
Call me Tia.
And that was Chapter 16 of For the Ones We Love, written by Flim Brothers on Film Fiction. Yeah. Stretch. Giving my usual stretch to mark that another chapter is down. And we're more than halfway done. This is awesome. We're rounding it out. Still got about 8 chapters. No, more than that. 12 chapters? 12 maybe. It's a decent amount of work. Anyway, I'm done. I'm just talking to myself. In any case, thanks again for listening. Remember to subscribe if you want to follow me for more readings and various things. Leave a comment in the description below to suggest a story that you'd like to see, or what you liked on this story, what you, any your thoughts, whatever. I don't give it. Your thoughts. I'd like to hear your thoughts. I do read every single comment. So, thank you all for listening again. Have an awesome day, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.